Oh my goodness. My name's Ryne DiPerna. It's a bit of a weak name, hard to pronounce. Get it mixed up on mail applications all the time. I wish I had a cool, strong name like Blake Griffin, you know, that cuts through the bullshit. Or like River Phoenix, you know, that's strong. Like if there was a non-union electrician and his name was River Phoenix, you'd probably still let him pork your wife. That's how strong and powerful that name is. Or like something really strong, you know, like Dick Armey, right? Former Senate Majority Leader Dick Armey. An army of dicks, guys. Could you imagine that? Just a bunch of 6-inch, really angry, veiny guys trying to fuck everything up. All of them with their helmets polished till it's proper shade of purple. They're fucked up. Probably the weirdest army, based on their standard issue equipment, has to be the Swiss Army, right? The Swiss Army must find themselves in a lot of situations where they have to open up a can that's inside a bottle that's being suspended by a rope that's held up with a Phillips head screw. Oh my goodness, what an oddly specific predicament I find myself in. I wish there was somebody who could solve this. Never fear, it is I, Ingve of the Swiss Army. I have just as this situation calls for, and also if you need to smoke a very tiny joint or use a gross toothpick, I'll be there. And guys, I realize that that's a Swedish accent and not a Swiss accent, okay? But I'm an American, all right? I don't need to be taking any geopolitical advice from a bunch of holy cheese-making, triangular candy bar having motherfuckers, okay? The only time you need a Swedish army is when you have to put your blurbin in your schlurbin when you bought an overly priced armoire. We got some IKEA fans in the audience. You know. I'm a big football fan, guys. Yeah. NFL. Hell yeah. Except my favorite NFL player is retired now, Michael Vick. He was my favorite. No, don't laugh. I like Michael Vick. Michael Vick served his debt to society, all right? And every time Michael Vick was playing, I had friends that were like, oh my God, how could you root for Michael Vick? Do you know what he did to those dogs? Yeah, I know what he did to those dogs, right? But you have a dog that's genetically engineered by some sort of veterinarian Joseph Mangala to look cute in a Christmas sweater, okay? You take your dog to take a shit and it has hip dysplasia all of a sudden, okay? You're a monster. It's the Westminster Dog Show recently, right? I think a Binchon Friss? Is that how you pronounce it?
Binchon Frisette.
Binchon Frisette, yeah. That dog won. I like that dog because I like my dogs that come with a free baguette and a fuck to the ass. That's way funnier than saying ass fucking. Oh man. I was watching X-Men Days of Future Past. It was on TV the other day. And it's a good movie. I had never seen it before. But I couldn't help but think what my X-Men superpower would be if I were one. And I thought on it while watching the movie, and I think that my X-Men superpower would be the ability to do something cool in order to advance the plot. Hey, what's your superpower? I don't know. Cutting 35 minutes off this fucking movie. And pretending that the director isn't a pedophile. Bryan Singer, he fucks kids, guys. Google it. They have all these different, like superhero movies that appeal to different crowds. Now, like Black Panther, right? And Superman, he appeals to the gays. And, well, I mean the suit, right? And but there's no superhero movies that appeal to autistic savants, right? And I think that would be the most interesting one, right? Where they have to defuse a bomb by playing Chopin's Number 9 Nocturne in E minor by ear.
Damn you autistic super friends! You haven't heard the last of Dr. Impressive yet Arbitrary Task!
I think they should give Japanese people superhero movies, right? Because, I don't know about you guys, but all the comic books that I've read, Japanese people should have powers because they've been exposed to the most radiation. Statistically, they have. I don't know how you fight crime, though, with pixelated genitalia as being your power. Man. They say that you should never punch a gift horse in the mouth. But I feel that's an appropriate response to a talking horse that's trying to give you a fucking present, right? This is weird as hell. And I don't want your steel-cut oats. Because what else is a horse gonna give you for a present, right? They don't have thumbs. Come on. Probably, I like horses, though, during the Kentucky Derby season because ESPN features the athlete as the horse, not the jockey. It's the horse. The horse gets all the credit, as it should. Because just because you're tiny and brightly colored doesn't make you athletic, jockey. Go advertise your underpants. So the athlete's the horse, right? Everybody loves the horse. White people especially. It's a horse that they feel safe with. Taking pictures of him. Because after he retires from horse racing, he goes on to be a commentator for NBC Sports and also a co-star in Leslie Nielsen movies. Everybody loves the horse. Horse can do no wrong. But the horse got a little bit of a temper. And one day the horse saw his ex-wife and a waiter leaving her house, and then he cut their throats from ear to ear. Breaking news. The Los Angeles police are in a low-speed chase in the 405 with a white Bronco. Oh, man. And then years later, FX makes a series about the horse, and it's played by John Elway. It's a white Bronco. Looks like a horse. Oh. I'm married, guys. I'm married. Thanks. Yeah, that was the appropriate response. But I still have a Tinder. I just use it for like self-validation. I don't like talk to any girls on it, but I have low self-esteem, right? So I thought that how could Tinder improve their terms and services for a guy like me? Maybe if any girl that swipes right on you, when they die, you got to keep their soul. Right? That guy has impeccable timing. There's already an afterlife, though, with 72 girls who aren't interested in hookups. See, that joke would have been fucking better had that fucking asshole in there. That's cool. Speaking of Muslims, on Fox News, there's some lady saying how scary Islam and Muslim people are, right? She's always like, you can't even draw a picture of Muhammad without Muslim people behaving violently. And I think to myself, yeah, Kelly, you're right. Christians are fucking pussies. Have the courage of your convictions, Christians, okay? Abdul might take out an entire office complex because he finds Funky Winkerbean to be objectionable. You have problems not eating meat on Friday, Terry, okay? Grow some stones, preferably ones that you can cast towards women who are dressed provocatively. And think about it. If you were in an MMA match, right? Which entity would you bet on? Would you bet on Jesus to win? In his open-toed shoes? His long, flowing hair and gown? Jesus turned water into white wine. A spritzer. How do you queer up a kegger any worse than that? Did the fishes and loaves also come with deconstructed truffle risotto too? Come on, Jesus. Let's get real here. No, of course not. You would bet on Muhammad because nobody even knows what he fucking looks like, right? He could be the scariest thing in the world, like the thing at the end of the Blair Witch, or even worse, a Muslim guy. Come from a long line of creative people, as you couldn't just tell from that 15 minutes that I just did. My uncle, he's known in many circles as being a Renaissance man. He's creative because he can paint, he can sculpt, and he's a gay pedophile. We weren't even mad about him about that. You know, well, other than the black eye on our family. But it wasn't even the act so much as it was that on TV, they kept showing the police haul out big blocks of marble with little tiny baby dicks on them. And we were like, Unc, it's 2018, all right? If you would have used a camera phone instead of trying to sculpt these little kids, they couldn't have got out and called for help. We're DiPernas, okay? Use the old noodle, not the little one. Oh, it was my wife's birthday the other day, guys. Yeah, thanks. She's a year older. But I decided to be a good husband and make her whatever dessert that she wanted, no questions asked. And she's like, okay, like, you're gonna have to make me a Boston cream pie. I was like, God damn. All right. But like, I'm a man of my word, you know? So I came inside her and I said, you got a wicked bunch of splooge all up in you fucking queer! And since you're such a fucking homo, I had to think about Tom Brady and institutional racism in order for me to keep hard. Boston is a shitty city, guys. Fuck Boston. If you take anything away from tonight, it's fuck those bean eaters. All right, Boston bean eaters. That could have been interpreted the wrong way. All right, you guys ready for your next topic?